Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. Our story here is quite a remarkable one. We have a city in my home state of California that is going to pay out, meaning they already passed this. It's already been voted upon. It is going to happen. They're going to pay both transgender and non-binary people a universal basic income. No. I'm not kidding. This is a real thing. It really is happening. But folks, do we expect anything less from Democrats? You know that this is not a Republican thing. This is solely a Democrat program. Do we expect anything less from California? Hell, do we expect anything less from a Democrat-ran city council that lives in the state of California? I don't think so. This one comes from Yahoo News, and they say a California city is planning to give universal basic income to transgender and non-binary residents regardless of their earnings level, meaning they could be millionaires and just go claim this money. Truly astonishing stuff here, folks, and it only gets worse. Check this out. Transgender residents in Palm Springs, California are eligible to receive a UBI of up to $900 per month solely just for identifying as transgender or non-binary. No strings attached, meaning you don't have to prove a damn thing to these people. You just walk up, you say you're transgender, non-binary, and you get your free check for 18 months. $900 for 18 months. Because, this program isn't going to be exploited by anybody whatsoever, but that's not going to stop a bunch of Democrats being a bunch of idiots and acting like a bunch of idiots by voting this in. And I really do mean idiots, because check this out. The new pilot program will have $200,000 set aside for allocation after a unanimous vote by Palm Springs City Council last week, meaning there wasn't an intelligent human being on that bench when they voted this thing in. I mean, the entire City Council of Palm Springs has the brain power of a gnat. There's more brain power in an overused hairdryer than there is on that City Council's bench. If I was a resident of Palm Springs, I would be pissed. I mean, there has to be something you can do with that $200,000, right? Like repair your roads, or repair a bridge, or maybe give it to the school system, or I don't know, maybe refreshing the parks a little bit or something. But no, they want to create an exploitable program here to just give $900 to anybody that claims to be transgender or non-binary. Well, a former San Diego councilman, a Republican who served as the first openly gay member of the city council, again, in San Diego, so totally two separate cities, called the program outrageous and discriminatory. I just so happen to agree with that. It is outrageous. And I think maybe if there's a better word for outrageous, it would be batshit crazy. I know we all love that word or that phrase. Quote, "We're completely opposed to guaranteed or universal basic income programs because they ultimately cause inflation and raise the cost of living on everyone. They don't work." Well, he went on to say, but at least some of them have a minimum income requirement, unlike the freaking one that these idiots pass through, to qualify. Whereas this one is no strings attached, woke virtue signaling to the LGBT community in a way that is not only offensive, but discriminatory. Well, this program has 20 transgender and non-binary Palm Springs residents that will receive free money funded by taxpayers for 18 months, with advocacy groups that are based called DAP Health, an LGBT advocacy group called Queer Works. Queer Works group's going to be managing this program, folks. Don't you trust them? I mean, think about that group that had to come together and think about all the names they could possibly use to describe the group that's going to be managing this whole thing. And so these people wrote on probably a piece of paper, put it in a hat. What's the best we can do? I can't even get it out. They're calling it Queer Works. Just holy crap, man. Well, these are the people running the show. Oh, God, I'm turning red. A 6-month design period will be the precursor of the program's implementation, in which the group's mayor for a guaranteed income will be involved providing guidance. Well, folks, I hope you're reassured, because the guy that passed this through is the guy that's going to be running it and observing it and guiding it and making sure it all runs smoothly. I hope you're freaking relieved. It's just, God, this doesn't seem a little bit of corruption in here in any way, shape, or form. DAP Health CEO claimed to reporters that the transgender population is one of the most marginalized populations in all our city, who face some of the highest levels of housing insecurity, joblessness, and discrimination. Well, if they're lacking in jobs, which means they're probably lacking in money, why would you not create an income threshold? Why would you not do that? Just saying. Just a little curious here on the amount of knowledge that went into this, the amount of, I don't know, maybe studies that support your evidence here, maybe the studies that support the idea of not creating an income threshold so people don't exploit this, maybe proving in some way, shape, or form that you are transgender, non-binary, upon which I don't know how you actually prove that because it's purely subjective in your own head. But I digress here. Well, they're supposedly marginalized group, and they say that our project's budget is estimated at 1.8 million. And so when we look at what other programs have been successfully at in terms of funding have done, their local cities have provided nearly a match to that funding. Palm Springs mayor, who is a transgender, shocker, folks, huh? Palm Springs mayor's transgender, meaning it kind of got passed through because maybe she has a little bit of bias. Maybe there might be other transgender, non-binary, gay, LGBTQRS, LMNOP divided by to the power of 2 square root alphabet soup community on this bench. I think so. Well, pointed to the transcript from the city council's March 24th meeting where she expressed strong reservations in general to guaranteed income programs. Quote, I specifically stated that I did not believe such programs could scale up to adequately respond to the over 37 million Americans living below the poverty line, the over 6 million Californians, or the over 400,000 in the county of Riverside living below the poverty line, Milton said in an email praising Brinkman for his work and expressing her concern for the financial vulnerability of the transgender community. Because if we look at those stats in those other communities as well as the state, they're going to be 100% applicable to Palm Springs. We shouldn't even need to do our own study because we'll just take somebody else's study that's been on a different population in a different area of the state, and we're just going to freaking blanket statement that all over our entire city. Wasn't that just lovely? But these are the people that are called queerworks that you're supposed to trust in managing your money there in Palm Springs. It's remarkable. Quote, transgender Americans suffer extremely high rates of under and unemployment. Transgender Americans face enormous challenges living full and authentic lives, the mayor said. Those challenges have increased substantially in the past few years as transgender children and their families have been targeted by extremist legislators and governors. So they're trying to take a dig at Ron DeSantis here in some way, shape, or form by not calling him out. There's nothing being targeted here. Okay, there's nothing being targeted. The only thing that's being targeted is you guys by children telling them that it's okay to whack their off and get these surgeries and give them puberty blockers and increase their hormone levels. It's just remarkable that they're trying to turn the page on the people that are trying to protect the children, whereas the ones that are trying to hurt the children are the ones that are completely okay. But again, we're going to trust these people with their money. We're going to trust these people around cities and stuff like that. And not bat an eye over it, right? Because folks, if you talk like I am here, you're a crazy person, right? It's not crazy to mutilate children, to castrate them. That's normal. Me highlighting here that you're creating a program that can be completely exploited and you're just giving people $900 a month without having any threshold, without having any qualifications other than the fact of you walking up in line, filling out a form that says you're transgender, non-binary. I'm the crazy person here. I'm the psycho. This is the world we live in, man. It's a bunch of crap. Middleton added she believes a UBI program is a county, state, and federal responsibility, not a municipal one. My vote to affirm that evening was procedural, to provide $200,000 to DAP in order to help them in the application for state funding. In advance of the vote, I specifically stated my belief that guaranteed income programs were not the long-term way to proceed. I did not commit to any future funding of guaranteed income programs. Not yet, you haven't. Not yet, because maybe the vote's coming in. Maybe you're not going to roll over into being mayor once again. Who the hell knows how their city councils ran, because you got a bunch of Democrats running the show who voted unanimously for this. And like I said, if I was living in Palm Springs, I would be pissed over this. You better be having a bunch of Republicans, heck, even independents, whoever's not even just, you could be slightly left to center and show up to this council meeting, because it's only going to get worse, folks. It's only going to get worse there in Palm Springs. And if this is happening in one city in California, it's going to spread like wildfire. And you might be going, oh, thank God I don't live in California. Folks, remember, other states look to California. Other states that are turning purple look to California. So if it's going to happen here, it's going to happen somewhere else around the United States. It only takes one psycho city council to push something like this through that's going to ruin it for the rest of us. Well, folks, as always, let me know in the comments down below what you think about this stuff happening in Palm Springs, as well as hitting that like and subscribe button. And I will see you tomorrow here on The Bald Brad Show.